Well, good morning. I hope you guys are having a good day so far. A couple weeks ago, we did a review, or kind of showed off, a Bark River Bravo 1, and today I want to hit up its bigger brother. It's Bark River Bravo 1.25. For all intents and purposes, this is the exact same knife, it's just longer. So for you folks out there that really like a larger bushcraft style blade or an outdoorsman's blade, this might be the one for you. Hang around and we'll check it out. Well, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to be here today. I do appreciate your time very much. Like I said, this is the Bark River Bravo 1.25. It is just a little bit bigger brother to the Bravo 1. It's about an inch longer. This one here specifically, it is in V3. I'll say right off the bat, the edge retention off this steel is absolutely insane. I've been using it for about 6 weeks. I've only had to touch it up once. It's really been nice. But anyway, I digress. We'll get into the exact specifications here in just a few minutes. We started out this series on the Bravo 1s with a bow drill fire, just kind of like to lay a foundation on what these knives can do. I think the bow drill is a perfect way to kind of flesh out or prove the worth of a bushcraft knife or pretty much any outdoorsman's knife. Today I want to kind of expand on that just a little bit. It's been a while since I've had a full-fledged fire on my channel. You know, I play with fire a lot, bow drills, different fire starting methods, camp cooking in biomass stoves and stuff like that. But it's not every day I get to go out and just make a real old-fashioned fire. So we're going to do that today, have a little bit of coffee, and we're going to talk about this blade. We have the Bravo 1.25 here today, like I said. This one's in black micarta. The base price for this knife is about $200 on knives ship free. There are many various options and the price kind of goes up from there. As I mentioned, this is just a bigger brother to the Bravo 1 that we went over a couple weeks ago. The overall length on this blade is 9.875 inches. The blade length is right at 5 inches. The blade steel comes in A2. This one's in V3. The A2 version itself has a Rockwell hardness of 58 to 60. I believe the V3 version has a Rockwell hardness of 60, but don't hold me to that. I'm running off of memory here. Blade thickness is .217, which is 0.02 of an inch thicker than the Bravo 1. The weight is 8.63, and it does come with the standard Bark River sheath. Went ahead and started my fire before all the prep was done because these mosquitoes are driving me nuts. There's nothing like cowboy coffee to get the juices flowing in your brain in the morning. Anyway, enough of that for a minute. Let's talk about this knife. Now, as I mentioned in that Bravo 1 review I did a few weeks ago, and I will put a link to that video in the description of this one, I wanted to use that one as a foundation because this series of knives are so similar. I didn't want these reviews to be seemingly repetitive. That being said, I used my standard test, so to speak, that I do on every knife that I review, with the exception of one knife. Every knife that I have reviewed on my channel, I have gotten to feel that knife, or gotten the feel of that knife, by making a bow drill set, because I think that encompasses everything a good bushcraft blade needs to do. Here are the things that stand out to me that are differences in these very similar blades. Obviously, the cutting edge is a little bit longer. It's about an inch longer, something like that. I don't remember the exact specs of that Bravo 1, but it's about an inch longer, which means, as you likely saw when I was feathering, you have a lot longer of a cutting edge to where you can get those curls longer, easier. Another thing is you can choke back on this blade. Because it's longer, it's more tip heavy. It's not off balance by any means, but you can choke back a little bit, and you have just a little bit more leverage for light chopping tasks like cutting down those vines and clearing off the sapling I used as the pot hook. One of the things that I really like about this series of knives, especially if you're one of the folks out there that have a lot of knives, that like to collect knives and use a different knife on a daily basis almost, is the handles are all basically the same. So you can use a different knife, use a larger or smaller knife for different tasks, and your hand doesn't have that short adjustment period of getting used to a different handle. The main thing that has stuck out to me about the differences in these knives, this one's made out of V3. That Bravo 1 that I reviewed a couple weeks ago is made out of A2. The edge retention on this V3 is insane. I don't believe to date I have used a knife that had edge retention quite like this. One thing on that Bravo 1 review I did, one thing that was pointed out to me about this thumb ramp right here, it's not designed to be used that way. It's designed to be used like that, and that's just, for my hand, that just doesn't work. My thumb is too far forward. I like my thumb to be right on top of where I'm cutting, basically. So I'm going to leave my comment the same as far as this thumb ramp here. I could take it or leave it. I probably would prefer it not to be there, but one of the cool things about Bark River is that if you make a trade or purchase a used one, you can send this back to Bark River and they'll grind that off for you for the cost of shipping. Now, that being said, if you order through DLT or Knife Ship Free or one of the other vendors out there, you can order it and have it sent to Bark River directly and then sent on to you without the thumb ramp. Now, I know someone's going to ask, do I prefer this one or the Bravo 1? I like them both. It really depends on what I'm doing, my mood of the day. They're both great knives. They're on even par, but this one's a little bit bigger, so some tasks are easier. The Bravo 1's smaller, so smaller, finer tasks are a little bit easier. But both of them will do every bit the same thing that each other will do. It comes down to personal preference and what size knife you like for yourself. So all in all, this is an excellent blade. I don't really have any complaints outside of that thumb ramp, and I can't really count that as a complaint. That is something that really has to go down to personal preference, and given the fact that you have an option to keep it or leave it, that can't be a critique of this blade. As far as comfort in the hand, it is excellent, just like the Bravo 1. I've used this a lot over the last 6 weeks, and I get no hand fatigue. You guys, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, I have very minor arthritis in these two knuckles right here, and it doesn't bother me. A lot of blades that have the contouring right here where there's less of the handle to grip on the back side of my hand. Some blades, after a lot of hard use, will make my hand tired. Those knuckles will start hurting. I don't experience that with this blade. Bark River really has a sweet spot as far as its contouring goes. It's a perfect palm swell. It fits my hand very, very well. And last thing I want to touch on, folks, is the convex grind on this. Bark River has nailed that perfectly. As I said in the Bravo 1 review, their convex, on this thickness of a blade anyway, it acts like a Scandi blade when you want it to act like a Scandi blade, and it acts like a convex when you want it to act like a convex. It really has a sweet spot there. You can remove a lot of material. You can bite down into the wood easily and remove a lot of material all at once, where you can kind of choke back on the angle a little bit, and you can get those fine curls, a lot of fine material removal for feathering and for crafting and stuff like that. It is really a pleasure to use. It makes an excellent ant getter when one falls in your cup of coffee. That being said, guys, thank you very much for being here today. I have highly enjoyed showing this blade off to you. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. If you have or found this video helpful, helped you make an informed decision about whether this is the knife for you or not, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it very much. If you haven't done so yet, there's a subscribe button right down here. If you enjoy content like this, please go ahead and make use of that button. And guys, as always, hit up the comment section. That's the most important part. I love the discussions that get started off of reviews and bushcraft videos and stuff like that. So let's talk about this knife, other knives you enjoy that are similar to this one. Anyway, thanks again for being here today very much, and I will see you next time. You guys have a great weekend.